picture it. We're making a crochet circle, we're making an amigurumi project. How are we supposed to know how many stitches are at the end of each round? How do we know when to increase? Well, there's a simple trick to keep track of all of this. Let me show you how. This question came from a lovely viewer, Lauren, so thank you so much for asking it. I recently shared a flat circle tutorial series, and she asked if I could write out the stitch counts round by round. I loved this question so much. We talked about it on this past week's crochet night, and I wanted to just make a full video dedicated to it because I think this will be very helpful for anyone who's crocheting circles, whether it be a flat circle or you're shaping something or making amigurumi. These tricks will work for basically any circle you're trying to make. So anyway, Lauren, this video is for you. I also made a written blog post of this video. So basically everything we're talking today is going to be in written form. I think it will be super helpful. So all the rounds, the patterns and the stitch counts will be all listed out so you can see it. Sometimes it's just easier to see this stuff in written form. So depending on how you like to learn. So between those 3 video tutorials, this video, and that blog post, I think will be very helpful for you. First, let's talk about the increase sequence. So basically any circle that you make, whether it's flat or not, you're going to start the first round with a set number. So that number could be 3, that number could be 6, it could be 8, it could be 12. So whatever that stitch count may be, your first round is going to start out with some number of stitches. So you're going to want to make sure that you remember that number for later. But each round you're going to increase in a numerical sequence. And then each round after, to make your circle bigger, you're going to increase in this fashion. So you're going to start with your first round, and then the second round, you're going to increase in every stitch. In the third round, you're going to increase in every second stitch. In the fourth round, you're going to increase in every third stitch. And in the fifth round, you're going to increase in every fourth stitch. And you're going to increase in that fashion as you go. The main rule to remember here is the stitch you increase in is always going to be one less than the round you're on. So once again, for instance, let's say we're on round 3. For round 3, we're going to increase in every second stitch. So every second stitch, that's 2. That's 1 less than 3. So we're on round 3, we're increasing in every second stitch. For round 4, we're increasing in every third stitch. So that's your formula for increasing in circles. And this is huge in amigurumi. This is the same formula that most amigurumi patterns follow. Really anything that I've made or designed in the past went by that formula. So it's an important trick to learn, and kind of once you have it in your back pocket, you're never going to forget it. Now we're going to talk about the formula to figure out what your end stitch count should be. Basically, you can always know what your ending stitch count will be by multiplying 2 numbers. So you take your starting, your round 1 stitch count number, and you multiply that times the round you're on. So let's say we're making a crochet circle and we started with 6 stitches. Let's say we're on round 3. So in this example, we would take our starting stitch count number, which is 6, and we would multiply it times 3, which is the round we're on. So 6 times 3 is 18 stitches. That means at the end of round 3, we should have 18 stitches. So let's say for round 4. So we started with 6 stitches. We're on round 4, so we're multiplying 6 times 4. We should be ending round 4 with 24 stitches, and so on. So let's say for round 5, we started with 6 stitches. We're multiplying 6 times 5 because we're on round 5. 6 times 5 is 30. At the end of round 5, we should have 30 stitches. So that's a really good trick to have up your sleeve. So basically, if you get to the end of round 5, you started with 6 stitches, you're on round 5, you should end with 30. If you don't have 30 stitches, then that means you either missed or added an increase, whether you're more or less stitches than that. So basically, to rip back to at least the round that you knew you last knew that you had the correct number. That's typically what I do. I just think that's the easiest way, especially if you're learning. So that is a really great trick to have up your sleeve, and it's a very simple formula that's super easy to remember. So kind of tying into those tutorials that I made for the flat circles. For the tutorials, so I did a single crochet flat circle, I did a half double crochet flat circle, and also a double crochet flat circle. They are all in separate tutorials, and basically because of the heights of those stitches, the starting number to have a flat circle changes. So for single crochet, if you want a flat circle, 6 stitches in the first round is a really great starting place. This doesn't have to be set in stone. You can kind of play with this, unless a pattern tells you. Obviously a pattern will tell you what number you're supposed to start with, but if you're kind of freehanding, you can definitely make this number your own. And then all of these tips and tricks and formulas will work for whatever type of circle you are making. So for instance, like I said before, for a single crochet flat circle, I like to start with 6 stitches. For a half double crochet flat circle, I like to start with 8. And then for a double crochet flat circle, I like to begin with 12 stitches. But however, like I said, this math can be applied to whatever type of circle you're making. It doesn't just apply to flat circles. It really applies to any circle. So really anything that you're making in amigurumi, as you increase, you will be increasing in this fashion. Next, I want to talk about my counting trick. So this is the trick I use to keep track of myself as I crochet in the round for each round. Basically, whatever round I'm on, I count in groups of that number. So let's say I'm on round 3, I count in groups of 3. So for round 3, we know that we should be increasing in every second stitch, because remember, the stitch that we increase in is always one less than the actual round we're on. So for round 3, we should be increasing in every second stitch. So I'll kind of run you through this. Example. So in the first stitch, I'm going to place stitch 1. We have no increase there. And then in that second stitch, that's our increase stitch. So in that one, it's 2 and 3. So I now have 3 stitches. All right, the next stitch is stitch 4. That's no increase. And then in that second stitch is our increase. So that's going to be 5 and 6. Whatever stitch we're increasing in, we're putting the 2 stitches in. That last stitch increase should be a multiple of the round you're on. So I basically kind of count 1, 2, 3, and then I go 4, 5, 6, then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And so 18 should be our last stitch. And you kind of use that trick for every round. So so now we'd be ready for round 4. So the way I would count that is, so for round 4, we are increasing in every third stitch. So those first 2 stitches don't get an increase, that third stitch does. So, but essentially we will be counting in 4s. So it'll be 1, no increase, 2, no increase. In that third stitch, it will be stitch 3 and 4. And then we kind of reset. So stitch 5, no increase, stitch 6, no increase, and then that third stitch is our increase, and that will be stitch 7 and 8. So I count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, 6, 7, 8. And so on. So that's kind of what I do in my head. I hope that's helpful for you, but that's a really great way to figure out also what round you're on. So basically whatever round you're on, you want to count in those stitch multiples. So basically you're kind of working in groups of whatever, so you're basically working in groups of whatever round number you're on. So you're working in groups of 3, or you're working in groups of 4, groups of 5, and so on for each consecutive round. So I find that incredibly helpful. That helps me kind of keep track as I'm going I use that trick so much as I'm crocheting in the round. It's not even funny. So if you've kind of never thought about it in that way before, I really hope that that trick helps you. So basically my closing overview of all of the skills we learned today are, so basically the first thing is you take whatever your starting stitch count is. That could be 3, 6, 8, 12, whatever your starting stitch count is, your increases will be placed in 1 stitch less than the actual round that you're on. Like I said before, you're on round 3, you'll be increasing in every 2nd stitch. For round 4, you'll be increasing in every 3rd stitch, and so on. So for each round, you're essentially increasing the number of stitches between each increase as you go. So for round 1, you have your starting number. Round 2, you increase in every stitch. Round 3, you increase in every 2nd stitch. Round 4, you increase in every 3rd stitch, and so on. The next takeaway for you is that the ending round stitch count is always determined by whatever your round 1 starting number is. So let's say it's 6 stitches multiplied times the round number that you are currently on. So let's say you started round 1 with 6 stitches, you're on round 3, you multiply 6 times 3, that means at the end of round 3 you should have 18 stitches. And then as I crochet each round, I count in multiples of the current round that I'm on. So basically that increase, those last two, that very last number, that 2nd stitch in that increase should always be divisible by whatever round you're on. So I like, for instance, I like to count, so let's say we're on round 3, I like to count 1, no increase, and then the next one is an increase, so it's 2 and 3. And then I do 4, 5 and 6, and 7, 8 and 9. I do it in that way. Or let's say I'm on round 4, I would count 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then it would be 5, 6, and then 7, 8. So I count that way in my head as I go around in each round. So those are my key takeaways. I will have all of my flat circle tutorials linked below so you can check those out, as well as the blog post. And I think that should be really helpful to go through because you'll have everything just like written out. You'll see all of the numbers written out in front of you, and I think it should help clear anything up too. So between this video breakdown, the video tutorials for the flat circles, and the blog post, I think should be helpful for you. If you're still confused, no worries. Let me know. Maybe I wasn't super clear on something. Let me know in the comments below. I'd be happy to try to clear anything up. I really hope you found today's video helpful. If you did, please let me know by giving the video a thumbs up. And if you haven't already and would like to, make sure you subscribe. I do share new videos every Sunday. We do a knit and crochet night every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time, where I answer your knit and crochet questions. So if anything's been confusing you, feel free to submit a question. I will have that form linked below. And then Fridays, I share new tutorials. Those could be new stitches, different techniques, or full pattern tutorials. We have so much going on around here. Plus, I share to my blog weekly. You don't want to miss anything. So make sure you're subscribed. I would love to have you. And thank you so much for tuning in today, and I'll see you in the next one.